p.m. with an open prayer led by Engineer Francis Etafu. Adoption of agenda. The General Secretary read out the agenda for the meeting. Subsequently, Engineer Kanayo OJ moved a motion for its adoption as a working document, and the motion was seconded by Engineer Adam Maduka. Safety briefing. The safety briefing was conducted by the chairman, who emphasized the importance of identifying and being aware of the exit points within the hall. He reminded members that safety should always be the foremost watchword for engineers. He further advised that our mode of interaction should always promote to avoid the use of abbreviations in future to ensure that all members can fully understand the content. There being no further corrections, a motion for the adoption of the previous minutes was moved by Engineer Freeborn Erupiake and seconded by Engineer Ignatius Odian. 5.0 technical paper presentations. A technical paper was presented by Engineer Alexander Onishabon titled The Impact of Challenges in Professional Development. The paper emphasized that while challenges such as limited resources, lack of mentorship, and rapid technological changes may hinder career growth and productivity, they also serve as opportunities to build resilience, adaptability, and innovation. Engineer Nishabon further highlighted the importance of identifying challenges, seeking mentorship, setting clear goals, and embracing continuous learning as effective strategies for overcoming obstacles and enhancing professional development. An interactive session followed, during which participants engaged in a Q&A segment. The chairman expressed appreciation to the presenter for his insightful contribution and presented him with a certificate of recognition. Number 6, matters arising. Ibadan 2025. The chairman informed members that registration for this year's conference is currently ongoing and presence of unity and collective support within the branch. During the meeting, Engineer Bemigo joined via a phone call through the chairman, expressing his appreciation to the branch and soliciting continued support. He reaffirmed that NSE Asaba branch remains his professional family. Asaba branch AGM 2025. The chairman informed members that the branch annual general meeting AGM has been scheduled to hold in September 2025. The events will take place on 24th and 25th September 2025, with a public lecture to be held at Venezia Hotel Asaba and the AGM at the Engineer D. Mukolo Hall. He encouraged members to give their full financial and moral support towards ensuring the successful hosting of the AGM. Finance. The chairman encouraged members to promptly pay their local and national dues and further evidence of payment to the financial secretary and treasurer for proper documentation. He reminded members that the local dues amount to 6,000 naira per annum, while the national dues are 10,000 naira per annum. He further appealed to senior engineers to support members who are entrepreneurs and managing their own firms, noting that such assistance would help strengthen the branch and reduce the need for constant fundraising appeals. Chairman activities, courtesy visits. The chairman, accompanied by members of the executive committee, paid a courtesy visit to Engineer Professor Hilary Wama, FNSE, at his office in Delta State University, Abraka, on 17 September 2025. In addition, the chairman and members undertook an industrial visit to the independent power plant located in Uzeri, Isoko South local government area, as part of the branch effort to strengthen professional collaboration and promote engineering visibility within the state. The chairman and members of the executive committee attended the funeral ceremony of the father of Rice Ure at Ovioria, Ichop East local government area on 7th October. He was also in attendance at the funeral ceremony of the father of Engineer Princess Sandra Jebele at Owawolomo, Ule South local government area on 20th October 2025 to commiserate and show solidarity with the bereaved family. AOB, loss of Engineer Fred Idafiogo's mother. The chairman announced the passing of the mother of Engineer Fred Idafiogo, who serves as the Korean representative for the South-South zone. The informed members that plans are underway for the branch to pay a condolence visit to commiserate with him and his family. Engineer Francis Etapo urged all members to attend the forthcoming conference in person, emphasizing that participation is important as a show of solidarity and support for Engineer Bemigo Foyemi. The chairman informed members that the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, will be holding its annual general meeting AGM on the 13th of September 2025 at Toscana Hotel Asaba, and extended an open invitation to all members to attend. He further announced that he will be receiving awards from both WEN and the Nigerian Institution of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, NIEEE, in recognition of his contributions to the engineering profession. The chairman encouraged members to send in goodwill messages to mark the occasion. The chairman announced that the training on foreign stock has been scheduled for 3rd September 5. He further informed members that Engineer Waker, FNSE, a past vice chairman of the branch, will be facilitating a training session on MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing services. Members who are interested in participating were encouraged to contact him for further details. NSE Asaba branch birthday celebration. A total of 5 members celebrated their birthdays in the month of August. New members. A total of 4 new members were formally introduced to the house and warmly welcomed into the branch. Tangon Ezorashi, Cynthia Maduforo, Anoche Endurance, Okeren Francis Kelly. Adjournment. A motion for adjournment was moved by Engineer Clement Nwaobi and seconded by Engineer Abraham Akpoto. Closing. The closing prayer was said by the chairman, and the meeting came to a close at 6:14 p.m. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, General Secretary. From the ministry, if there's any observation, sorry, the attendance. So if you start with the second backward, you would get attendance to know if your name was spelled rightly. If we go to this meeting, please check if there's any correction on any line. We'll go page by page. On page 1. Yes, somebody Michael.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Engineer Clement. Iwobi is 8.0. His surname is not correct. IWMOI. Iwobi, yeah, not Iwobi.
Okay, any other correction? On 7.0, number C, the Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, NSE Asaba chapter to be added, so that we know which chapter we have. Yes, can you pass the mic to English? Thank you.
I'm Engineer Anthony Emeka. There's an omission.
Just this.
If we visited Abraka,
Okay. Yes, we also visited by the NSE chairman. So that's the big was very, very sorry. Oh, went to America, we were visited by the NSE chairman family, please. Thank you very much. That's noted. Thank you very, very much. Any other correction? Okay, look, the attendance. How many? There are 5 pages of the attendance. So please display all the attendance list. It's there. Yes, everything is there. You were the technical representative now. Very sure. I'm very sure. So, in the absence of no other correction, and somebody move a motion for adoption of this minutes. Somebody there. Oh, somebody's behind you. Somebody's coming back. Okay.
I move for the adoption of this meeting. My name is Engineer Nwaobi.
We have a pattern. I. Engineer
Nwaobi.
Yes.
Move for the adoption of the minute.
Let's give the elder in front.
I, Engineer Sir, I want to second the motion. But before I do that, I want to first of all appreciate the secretary. The minutes was well written and well read.
Thank you, sir.
So kudos. Thank you very much for that. So I want to second that motion.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, before we go further, we have some senior members of the house. We have the person who just spoke is the founder chairman of NSE Asaba chapter, Engineer Alexander Onchabo. Thank you much. Next to him is Engineer Anthony Emeka, the chairman NSE Asaba chapter. And very next to him is Engineer Rex Okre, who is director. Thank you very much. We have Engineer Francis Etafo, who is the National Vice Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers. You are welcome. I have my IPC also here, Engineer Felicia Odaga. Thank you very much for joining us. And every other person, I'm very, very much grateful. Today, we are having a technical paper presentation. And we are very, very engineering-like. But in the midst of the engineering life, we now have delved into politics and have seen how they can merge politics and engineering solutions to give us good governance. And when the technical secretary brought up the topic, there is no other person that will be called, part of our own, who is presently in the House of Assembly and has been able to see how he can use his position there as a House member in the engineering way to ensure that governance gets the nitty-gritty of how politics and engineering stand to marry each other to help us to progress. We will have this brief citation. Many of us have heard about him, but we don't know him. So is an opportunity. You don't pay, you're not feeling funds free. You're seeing it free of charge, courtesy of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Please, you're not this. So please, we make welcome to you. Engineer Emeka Emmanuel Nwaobi, PhD. Leader. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, great engineers. This evening is a special evening that we are merging engineering and politics. And there's no other person who is fit for this job tonight. So this evening, I'm here to presentation of our very own Honorable Emeka Emmanuel Nwaobi, PhD, who was born in the Catholic family of Lesa Makewuhi. I think I get it. As against the usual norm of becoming the president at 400 level. And in his usual satisfactory leadership, he was voted a second time to lead the department, which was rare. Okay, which was rare. Okay, and historic at that time. Today, Honorable Engineer Emeka Nwaobi is not just an engineering graduate with a Bachelor of Engineering in Civil or Masters of Science alone, is a proud holder of a doctorate degree in engineering. As a newsmaker always, he distinguished himself during his master's degree when he graduated with a distinction with an NSE GPA of 4.5. I think it deserves a very good applause. Again, he bagged a PhD award with a distinction as well as the best graduating doctorate degree student in the Faculty of Engineering with an FCGPA of 4.73. He has obtained several certificates from different universities, which include Engr State University of Science and Technology, University of Florida, United States of America, International Law Institute, Washington, D.C., United States of America, the London School of Economics and Political Science, United Kingdom, SOAS University of London, United Kingdom, McGill University, Canada, University of Cambridge, United Kingdom, Manchester Metropolitan University, United Kingdom. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, a fellow of the Institute of Human and Natural Resources and Justice of the Peace, JP. It is pertinent to note Honorable Nwaobi's political pragmatism, sagacity, and resilience in his 3 times journey in the most vibrant House of Assembly in Nigeria, which God made possible, is out of understanding of the standing tripod of the legislation, which are lawmaking, oversight function, and representation, has often made his thoroughness and vibrancy impeccable. He has currently sponsored the highest number of bills in the 8th Assembly of Delta State House of Assembly. In consideration of these sterling qualities in experience, intelligence, and sincerity of purpose, he was appointed the majority leader of the Delta State House of Assembly on the 27th day of June 2023. He was thereafter elected as the chairman, Nigeria Majority Leaders Forum. Indeed, Honorable Engineer Emeka Nwaobi, PhD, is a rare gem, a dedicated Christian, a lovely family man, a committed party faithful, a people's delight, and much more. His legacies in the formulation and sponsoring of peace, as well as parliamentary leadership and adequate representation of his people, are impeccable and exemplary. Discipline. I want to present to you a quintessential engineer, a formidable lawmaker in the Delta State House of Assembly, engineer, Honorable Emeka Emmanuel, Nwaobi, PhD, FNSE. A round of applause for him as he comes to the podium tonight. Put your hands together for him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maybe sit down, please. Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
the School of NSE Asaba branch, all engineers here present, I'm very, very excited to be on this here today. Those supposed to stand, please, can you sit down?
Sir, you are blocking the camera.
My excitement stems from the fact that I have no other professional family other than NSE. As a matter of fact, a very senior lawyer, 30-something years post-call, when we had a debate some years ago, gave me an award, gave me a scholarship to read law. He said we will pay from beginning to the end, but I have refused to read that law because I do not want to leave the NSE. I may decide to change my mind tomorrow, but for today, I have not taken that decision. So I am very glad to be here amongst all of you today. I am also glad that this very, very important topic, rather working in Engineer Rex. Engineer Rex, do not be bothered that you don't see me in all of your meetings due to the exigency of my office, but be rest assured that I am always here with you in spirit. Having said that, I'll go quickly into the assignment given to me to perform today. And the topic that I am discussing today is the role of engineers in politics, a driving force for national development. This topic is sitting on a tripod. The first leg of it is the role engineers play in national development. Before I continue, let me welcome my senior brother, my senior colleague, and a mentor. I said, when I was coming today, I said I must ask of two people. Because some of you may not know. 20-something years ago, I did my training in the then Ministry of Works and Housing when Engineer Paco was the director. Engineer Colin was the assistant director. And my direct boss just walked in. There were two of them who mentored me. Though I was working directly under him, but he had a friend and a brother. At that time, I hope they are still close. In my mind, I used to call them Aki and Popo. Himself and Engineer Lofty, thank you. Engineer Lofty. I hope he's still around. Good. Anywhere you saw Engineer Solomon, you would see Engineer Lofty at that time. And I hope that relationship still stands. Welcome again to this meeting of today. So like I was saying, this topic is sitting on a tripod. The first leg is the role of engineers in national development. Second leg, I will be discussing the challenges engineers have in getting involved or excelling in politics. And then the third leg, I'll be talking about the FNICE. What are the remedial measures? What do we do to get engineers more involved in governance? Please, I don't know if they have shared these documents to you. Please share them quickly before I go on. I am also sure that you'll be able to share them on the screen. Thank you. I am getting happier and happier because I'm seeing senior men, senior engineers in this meeting as expected. I had asked of most of you before you came. Are you done sharing? Do that very quickly, please. For those of you who may not have copies, you can read from the screen, please, for those who don't have copies. Okay. A paper presentation by Honorable Engineer Emeka Emmanuel. This technical paper examines the critical intersection of engineering expertise and political leadership in advancing national development objectives. Engineering plays a central role in shaping the physical, technological, and economic foundations of modern societies. In Nigeria, however, the intersection between engineering and politics remains underexplored. Despite the abundance of competent engineers, the nation continues to face challenges such as infrastructural decay, unreliable power supply, poor technological adaptation, and policy inconsistency. This paper examines the strategic role engineers can play in Nigerian politics as a catalyst for national development. It explores the synergy between technical competence and political leadership, identifies barriers limiting engineers, political participation, and proposes practical pathways to enhance their involvement in governance and nation building. Engineers bring unique capabilities to governance, including systematic problem-solving approaches, evidence-based decision-making, and project management skills that are directly transferable to public administration. This paper demonstrates how engineer politicians contribute to effective policy formulation, particularly in infrastructure development, environmental sustainability, technological innovation, and resource management. The study also identifies barriers to political engagement for engineering professionals and proposes strategies for increased participation. Findings indicate that engineers in political roles can significantly enhance governance outcomes through their technical competence, ethical commitment to public welfare, and long-term perspective on national development planning. Introduction. The complex challenges facing modern nations, from climate change and infrastructure decay to technological disruption and resource management, require political leadership capable of integrating technical expertise with policy formulation. Engineers, with a systematic approach to problem solving and implementation, represent an underutilized resource in political spheres where technical decisions are often made without adequate scientific grounding. This paper argues that engineers possess transferable skills that are essential for effective governance, and that their increased participation in politics would substantially advance national development goals. The professional training of engineers emphasizes evidence-based analysis, ethical responsibility for public safety, and practical solution implementation, all qualities that translate directly to political decision-making. As nations grapple with increasingly technical policy challenges, the need for government officials who can understand and navigate these complexities becomes more pressing. This paper explores how engineers can bridge the technical political divide, contributing to more effective, sustainable, and rationally grounded public policy while maintaining the ethical standards of the profession. Theoretical foundation, the engineering mindset in political decision making. The engineering approach to problem solving offers a valuable framework for political decision making. Engineers are trained to analyze complex systems, identify root causes, evaluate alternative solutions, and implement practical interventions, a methodology that could significantly improve policy development processes. This systematic approach contrasts with often ideologically driven political decision-making, potentially leading to more effective governance outcomes. The fundamental engineering ethic of protecting public health, safety, and welfare aligns closely with the essential purpose of government services. Now, some of the fundamental engineering ethics, as highlighted here, are public health, safety, and welfare. In the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Section 4(2)(b), it states explicitly that the primary welfare, the security and welfare of the people, are the primary essence of governance. You can see how it aligns with the principles, the fundamental principles, engineering ethics. If the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria recognizes that the welfare and security of the people are the major essence of governance, and the fundamental engineering ethics also recognize the same thing, why then should engineers not find themselves in position of governance to bring in their ideas to help advance and develop our nation. Intersection of technical expertise and public policy. The integration points between engineering expertise and political decision-making occur across multiple domains of public policy: infrastructure planning, environmental regulation, technology development, urban planning, and energy policy all require sophisticated technical understanding alongside political considerations. Engineers in political roles can facilitate evidence-based policy making by ensuring technical accuracy in legislative proposals and regulatory frameworks. Their presence in political bodies helps balance competing interests with objective data and scientific reality, creating more sustainable and effective public policy. Historical context of engineers in political leadership. I am going to open your eyes to see that even in Nigeria, we have engineers as one of those people who ventured into politics in the early days. Historically, engineers have made significant contributions to national development in Nigeria. The historical context of engineers in Nigerian political leadership is defined by fundamental influence of Herbert Macaulay, who transitioned from being Nigeria's first civil engineer to a political activist and founder of the country's first political party in 1923. This legacy continues through modern Nigerian engineering professionals who have entered politics, though they face challenges such as the political landscape, often driven by ethnic interests and the perception that engineering is less political than fields like law or social sciences. Let me also say this. If anybody tells you that engineering is of less importance than the likes of the professional fields like law or social sciences, the person is a blatant liar. I have also discovered that engineers do not only excel in engineering professions. You will agree with me that if you go to the banking industry today, most of those people who have excelled in the banking industry are engineers. So who says that engineers cannot venture into politics and create massive wave that will make people know that yes, this is an engineer who has contributed to the development of the nation. I therefore want to encourage the younger ones who are still indecisive. Please, you cannot, from a distance, be accusing those in power. Get yourself involved so that together we can all advance Nigeria. Early foundational influence. Herbert Macaulay considered the father of Nigerian nationalism. Macaulay was Nigeria's first civil engineer, qualifying in 1893. Political awakening. His career in colonial service exposed him to racial discrimination, leading him to resign and become a vocal critic of oppressive policies, which propelled him into the political arena. Political party. He founded the Nigerian National Democratic Party, NNDP, in 1923, making a significant shift from his engineering career to a lifelong dedication to the country's political future. Olusegun Obasanjo, Army engineer, specialized in engineering during his military career. Military head of state from 1976 to 1979. Elected president 1999 to 2007. Oversaw transition to civilian rule in 1979 and again in 1999. David Umahi from Ebonyi State, whose key achievements as the governor of the state included infrastructural development, focused heavily on building infrastructure, including constructing numerous concrete roads, bridges, and upgrading public schools. I am sure if he was not an engineer, he probably wouldn't have found the need to upgrade the infrastructure in Ebonyi State. These leaders demonstrated how technical competence combined with political authority can drive substantial national progress, particularly in infrastructure development and public works. Engineer in political institutions. The influence of engineers extends beyond individual leaders into professional and political institutions. The Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, founded in 1958, the NSE SAS as the umbrella organization for engineers in Nigeria. Its membership includes prominent political figures demonstrating the link between the profession and national leadership. For instance, former President Olusegun Obasanjo is listed as a fellow of the NSE and officially commissioned the National Engineering Center in Abuja in 2007. I thought we would be clapping for that engineer. Early political organizations. Herbert Macaulay's founding of the Nigerian National Democratic Party, NNDP, in 1933, established a direct channel for professional class Nigerians, including engineers, to engage in the legislative process. The NNDP successfully won all elective seats in the Lagos legislature for many years. This was a party founded by an engineer. Can we clap for engineers? Now this brings me to the challenges and advocacy. Despite their historical presence, Nigerian engineers face significant challenges in the political and professional arena. Political interference. Engineering practice in Nigeria is often subject to political manipulations, with policy formulation driven more by politics than by technical expertise. This can lead to the improper assignment of engineering positions and responsibilities. Marginalization in nation building. There is a perception that the government does not fully appreciate local engineers, often awarding major infrastructure contracts to foreign firms instead. This limits the role of indigenous engineers in national development. Call for greater participation. In response to these challenges, a key proposal from within the profession is for engineers to participate more actively in politics and strive to occupy relevant political positions to better influence policy from within. I'll give you an instance. We have one of us that I will always continue to encourage, and that is Engineer Emmanuel, the past NSE chairman as my branch. During the last campaign, I have discovered that virtually in all the local governments we went to, he had a very big flex supporting the current government. I am also excited to hear that at the expiration of his tenure as the NSE chairman, he's now aspiring to be the deputy president. This is what we're talking about. However, I do not want us to limit ourselves within the precinct of the engineering environment. Politics is wider than that. We need to emulate people like that and come into politics, into governance. Now, I was sharing a story with my two elder brothers, the two senior engineers here, who were discussing something before they called me up here. Look at Ministry of Health. Have you ever seen a minister or a commissioner appointed into that ministry who is not a medical doctor? Look at Ministry of Justice. Have you ever seen anyone appointed as the Attorney General of the Federation or Attorney General of the state who is not a lawyer? Look at the accounting section. Have you ever seen anybody who is not in the accounting field that was appointed as Accountant General? But what we witness oftentimes is that the Commissioner for Works, Commissioner for Power and Energy, they are not engineers. Are we cold? Are we cold? Are we ready to resolve that issue? How do we resolve it? It has only one answer. That answer is engineers must get involved in politics. Engineers must get involved in politics. Oftentimes, when commissioners for works or power and energy come to defend their projects, I personally ask them some technical questions intentionally. And each time I ask such questions, the next thing I will hear is, Honorable, please, can I ask my peers to respond? It's not a laughing matter. It's a very serious matter. Look at Delta State alone. Since the creation of this state, we have had 2 medical doctors as governors. We must strengthen our professional body. Look at the number of persons here in the meeting. Of course, quite a number of persons here came with me, they are not engineers. So if you pull them out, you see the real attendance. We must get involved. Nothing stops an engineer from being fully involved in politics. Who says that if it pleases God tomorrow I become the governor of Delta State, and I will appoint a commissioner for works who is not an engineer? No. Definitely not. Definitely not. Will I appoint a commissioner for power and energy who is not an engineer? No. Definitely not. But how do we get there? A journey of 1,000 steps starts with a step. If we all agree today to take that decision that we shall get involved. Let me tell you the simple secret. If in 2023, when the governor was still contesting, if I go to meet him, for example, I would say to him that this is the Nigerian Society of Engineers, different chapters in Delta State, that we are ready to support you. In fact, we have instructed all of our members to canvass very massive support for you, but that we are requesting for only one thing: to help you succeed in government as the governor of Delta State. And then our request is that engineering is a professional body, and to that extent, that ministries that have to do with engineering, I should please appoint an engineer as the commissioner. At that point, do you think he will say no? I am just telling you politics. He had not become the governor then. He needed the support of everybody. The worst that could happen is if we have 3 engineering ministries, at least we will have an engineer in one of the ministries. Because he would have given us his word. And by the time he won the election, we would also go back to him to remind him what we discussed with him. And if he sees that that engineer appointed as a commissioner for works, for example, has outperformed other commissioners in the ministries that concern engineering, of course nobody will tell him that there is need to have a professional in such fields. I feel pain as a politician. I feel pain as a top government functionary that the ministries where you should have engineers, anybody can walk into that ministry and become a commissioner. Who told you I cannot be attorney general? If a non-engineer can be commissioner for Ministry of Works, I can be commissioner for health. What does it take? You have aides who are medical doctors to advise you. Just like you people, you are the ones that advise the commissioners who are not engineers. And before you know it, after 2 or 3, 4 years, you see them using our terms. And if you don't take care, you probably feel that person is an engineer. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that 2023 would have been the best time. It is not late. We can still canvass such argument. Now, however, the best result for that argument will come in 2031 when a new governor is coming in. That does not, listen to me very well, that does not mean we cannot canvass that argument now. But the secret is that you are likely going to get it better when the person is coming in afresh, not when he has already resumed office and is almost sure of coming back. But then we can also put in that argument. And I am sure if we continue to press, one day we will have an engineer as a commissioner of either works or power and energy. We must not sit down and look and continue with the designing of roads and bridges. Let me also say this. I have argued in different fora that as far as I'm concerned, engineering should be given its place in the committee of professionals. And I'll tell you this. If a doctor makes a mistake while operating a patient, how many people will die? If a lawyer makes a mistake in defending a client in the court, how many people will lose the case? If an engineer makes a mistake while designing a road or a bridge, how many will die? How many will die? How many will die? With this argument, which of the professions do you think should be placed first before others? Huh? And that is the reason why I keep on challenging. Even a few days ago, my legal advisor is here. I know he won't be happy. I challenged some of my lawyer colleagues because they always say they are the learned people. I said to them, no, we are even more learned than you. There cannot be the existence of anything, including human beings, without the engineers. We wouldn't have found this planet Earth comfortable without the engineers. Am I correct? Very correct. And if you are not an engineer, you cannot give what you don't have. And that's the Lego maxim that says, never that, quod non habet. You can't give what you don't have. Let me proceed. Evolution of engineering influence in politics. The political engagement of engineers has evolved from technical advisory roles to comprehensive policy leadership. Initially consulted primarily for specialized technical projects, engineers have increasingly recognized the need to participate directly in political decision-making processes to ensure technically sound policy outcomes. Professional engineering organizations have developed formal and informal mechanisms to support members' political engagement, reflecting growing recognition within the profession of their broader responsibility to society beyond technical implementation. Current contributions of engineers in political spheres, infrastructure development and management. Engineers in political office provide invaluable oversight for critical infrastructure initiatives, ensuring technically appropriate and fiscally responsible decisions. Their understanding of project management, maintenance requirements, and life cycle costs leads to more sustainable infrastructure investments. Now again, let me also share this with you. So many of you may not know the story of how and why the Asaba airport is functioning effectively today. I'm talking about oversight now, of engineers. I was among the team of honorable members, House Committee on Works, who went on oversight function at the airport so many years ago, where we discovered a lot of lapses, and we summoned the contractor at the time, late Chief Uche. When we summoned him, myself and Honorable Engineer Prayer, who is also a civil engineer, we asked him some technical questions to the point that he did not agree with me personally. And he said to me, if I realized that he was a chief in this Anyama nation, why would I bring him to the public to disgrace him? And I said, Chief, it is not my intention to disgrace you, but I'm only stating the obvious, pointing out facts. To cut the long story short, that oversight function led to the termination of that contract. Through the recommendation of the House Committee of Works in Delta State House of Assembly, and the contract was awarded to the more competent company who finished the runway that we are all enjoying today. The question here is, if I was not a member of the House, or Honorable Engineer Bray was not a member of the House, would there be anybody who could ask a technical question? Hello? No. Would there be anybody who could ask a technical question? No. We noticed, one of the things we noticed was that the filling was more than almost 2 meters. And for those who are civil engineers, you know you cannot just come bring in all laterite up to 2 meters before you compact. The procedure is that you fill and compact at different levels. So that was one of the things we found out. That the person who was in charge of the project was not even an engineer, but he claims to be so. Again, if you look at what happens in our society today, because we don't guard ourselves very well, you see that this profession, engineering, is one of the few professions that has been bastardized. Even a carpenter calls himself an engineer. A bricklayer is an engineer. So the question is, what do we do to strengthen this profession? So there is not an all-comers affair. As far as I know, and I stand to be corrected, even as a graduate of engineering, you cannot use that prefix engineer until you are current certified. Not to talk of a bricklayer or a carpenter who now claims to be an engineer. You see, there is an adage in my place that says that what one calls his plate, that is what the plate is. If I show you a rubber plate and I call it a broken plate, you have no choice than to receive my broken plate from me. But if I have a broken plate and I call it a rubber plate, you will also call it a rubber plate. What am I saying? We should devise a means of identifying these people who claim to be engineers and are not, and deal with them decisively. I'm sure that when we prosecute 1, 2, 3 persons, everybody will answer in Papa name. If you want to be an engineer, it's simple. Go to the university, go and read engineering, 5 years. Come out and practice for the number of years, and then write your professional exam. Then you become an engineer. Let's proceed. Environmental sustainability and climate resilience. Engineers bring essential expertise to environmental policy development and climate adaptation planning. Their understanding of complex systems, material properties, and technological solutions enables effective responses to environmental challenges. Engineer politicians can advocate for evidence-based environmental policies and implement practical solutions for sustainable development, balancing ecological concerns with technical feasibility. In recent years, Nigerian engineers who have ventured into politics have increasingly prioritized environmental sustainability and climate resilience as core components of national and regional development. Their technical background enables them to design and implement policies that balance economic growth with ecological preservation, a critical need in a country facing desertification, flooding, oil pollution, and rapid urbanization. Promotion of green and sustainable policies. Engineer politicians in Nigeria are advocating for policies that integrate sustainability principles into infrastructure and industrial development. They encourage the use of renewable energy sources such as solar and wind to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. In some states, engineers in leadership positions have facilitated solar electrification projects for rural communities and public institutions. They also promote energy-efficient building designs and environmentally friendly construction practices, reducing carbon footprints in the built environment. Climate resilient infrastructure development. Engineers and politics ensure that roads, bridges, drainage systems, and housing projects are designed to withstand extreme weather events such as flooding and erosion. For instance, in flood-prone areas of the Niger Delta and southeastern Nigeria, engineer politicians have initiated erosion control and shoreline protection projects. Their expertise enables the integration of hydrological and environmental impact assessments into project planning and execution. Environmental regulation and advocacy. Engineer politicians have contributed to the formulation and enforcement of environmental laws and standards. Some have worked with agencies like the Federal Ministry of Environment, NSE, National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, and state environmental protection bodies to strengthen compliance mechanisms. They also champion public awareness campaigns on pollution control, deforestation prevention, and waste management, renewable energy and clean technology initiatives. Nigerian engineers in political roles are at the forefront of clean energy transitions. They support solar mini-grids, biomass utilization, and all green power solutions of underserved communities. Engineer politicians promote research and local manufacturing of renewable energy components, creating green jobs while reducing emissions, waste management and urban sanitation. Engineer politicians are improving waste collection, recycling, and conversion systems in major cities. They introduce smart waste management programs that convert waste to energy or reusable materials. Through urban planning initiatives, they ensure that cities adopt environmentally sound sanitation practices and drainage systems that prevent flooding. Environmental education and policy integration. Engineers in government advocate for climate education and environmental studies to be integrated into the national curriculum. They also encourage interministerial collaboration between environment, works, housing, and energy ministries to achieve sustainable outcomes. Now, it's important that we discuss this aspect. We need to begin to advocate for us to include studies about politics into our curriculum. One of the issues we have, which we'll see as we move further in this paper, is that an average engineer feels that he's an engineer, is a professional, and has no business with politics. Therefore, he confines himself within the engineering environment. So we need to begin to teach the younger ones early enough the importance of getting involved in politics. And politics is not meant for lawyers or doctors or other professions alone. So that way we'll be able to groom engineers that will have that consciousness of the advantages of getting involved in politics. We'll get to that stage as we proceed. Participation in global climate dialogues. Engineering politicians represent Nigeria in international environmental forums, e.g. COP conferences, African Climate Week, contributing technical insights into Nigeria's climate commitments. Their participation ensures Nigeria's policies align with global sustainability frameworks, such as the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and the Paris Agreement. Through a blend of technical expertise and political leadership, Nigerian engineers are shaping a future-oriented approach to governance, one that prioritizes environmental protection, sustainable development, and climate resilience. Their involvement demonstrates that effective environmental policies are not achieved through political will alone, but through the informed guidance of professionals who understand the science behind sustainability, technology, and innovation policy. In an era of rapid technological change, engineers in political roles provide critical insights for science and technology policy, research funding priorities, and innovation ecosystems. Their understanding of technological visibility, implementation timelines, and integration challenges helps shape more effective technology policies. Engineers facilitate the digital transformation of governance system and promote policies that support technological innovation while addressing potential societal impacts. This role has become increasingly important with emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and clean energy systems. Economic planning and resource management. I have just been told that I have 15 minutes more. And I thought that this topic was critical enough to be accorded enough time for us to discuss. However, I will probably jump some of the points I've made so that I can conclude quickly. I know that some of you already have the paper, but I will appeal that when a very sensitive and critical topic such as this is chosen to be discussed, make out enough time for us to discuss it. Okay, let's go to 4.4, economic planning and resource management. The engineering approach to resource optimization and cost-benefit analysis contributes significantly to economic policy and budgetary decisions. Engineers are trained to think about the long-term costs and benefits of different options and can help ensure that public resources are used in the most efficient and effective way possible. This perspective is particularly valuable in infrastructure investment decisions, industrial policy development, and strategic resource allocation for long-term national development. Challenges and barriers, communication and perception gaps. Engineers in political roles often face communication challenges when conveying technical concepts to non-technical colleagues or constituents. While engineers possess strong analytical, technical, and problem-solving skills, their transition into the political sphere often exposes them to challenges beyond technical competence. Two of the most significant obstacles they face are communication barriers and public perception gaps. These factors can limit their political influence, reduce policy acceptance, and affect their ability to mobilize support. Communication barriers. Engineers are trained primarily in technical and evidence-based reasoning, often relying on data, precision, and structured logic. Politics, however, thrives on persuasion, negotiation, and emotional intelligence. This contrast in communication styles creates a disconnect between engineer politicians and their audiences. A technical language versus public understanding. Engineers tend to use technical language and complex technologies that the average voter or policymaker may find difficult to grasp. This can make their ideas appear too academic or detached from the everyday realities of citizens. For example, when discussing infrastructure budgets, an engineer politician might focus on load capacities, design parameters, or sustainability metrics rather than human impact, roads that reduce travel time, power that lights up schools, etc. And this is one of the reasons why I suggested earlier that we need to bring in political science into engineering as we groom the younger ones, so that they are taught some of these things. In the business of politics, you must understand what the people want to hear and communicate that language to them in a way and manner that they will appreciate you. Most of you who followed the politics of the United States of America, you will agree with me that though Trump may not be the best person, but one of the reasons why he won was because he knew what the people wanted to hear, and he tells them what they want to hear. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Difficulty in simplifying ideas. Many engineer politicians struggle to translate technical concepts into simple, relatable messages that resonate emotionally and politically. Effective communication in politics requires storytelling and empathy, areas not traditionally emphasized in engineering education. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Limited media engagement. Some engineers in politics are not naturally inclined toward media relations, public debates, or populist rhetoric, which are crucial for political visibility. Their preference for results over rhetoric can lead to underrepresentation in the public narrative, even when they achieve tangible development outcomes. Perception gaps. Beyond communication, engineer politicians often face misconceptions and public biases that influence how they are perceived and accepted in the political arena. Seen as technocrats, not politicians. Engineer politicians are sometimes viewed as too rigid, overly technical, or apolitical to understand the complexities of political negotiation and coalition building. Their focus on accuracy and process may be mistaken for indecisiveness or lack of charisma, traits often prized in politics. Resistance from traditional political structures. In a system dominated by career politicians, engineer politicians may face resistance or exclusion due to their technocratic approach and limited political patronage networks. Their emphasis on due process and transparency can threaten entrenched interests that thrive on patronage and informal decision-making. Misalignment with public expectations. Citizens often expect quick, visible results from political leaders. Engineers, by contrast, prioritize planning, design, and quality assurance, which may delay visible progress. This mismatch creates a perception of slow performance, even when long-term sustainability is being achieved. Limited emotional connection with the masses. Engineers often communicate in facts and figures, while voters respond more to emotions and narratives. As a result, they may struggle to build the emotional rapport necessary to inspire public trust and loyalty. Bridging the gaps. To overcome these barriers, engineer politicians must, 1, develop strategic communication skills, translating technical insights into accessible, persuasive messages. 2, engage in public relations and civic education, helping citizens understand the long-term benefits of technically sound policies. 3, foster collaborative political relationships while maintaining professional integrity. I think I talked about that before. How we can foster collaboration with the political bigwigs to fuse ourselves into the system. Leverage digital media platforms to communicate their developmental achievements in relatable terms. Communication and perception gaps represent significant challenges for Nigerian engineer politicians. The ability to design and implement sustainable policies is often constrained, not by lack of competence, but by the inability to connect technically grounded ideas with public sentiment and political realities. Bridging this divide is essential if engineers are to maximize their impact in governance and effectively drive national development. Navigating political cultures. The institutional norms and processes of political systems can present obstacles to engineers accustomed to more evidence-based, linear decision-making environments. Engineers may experience frustration with the compromise-driven, incremental nature of political processes. As one engineer politician acknowledged, you may get some pushback when you wear your engineer hat. Remember, you are not their engineer. You are their elected leader. So when you are dealing with constituents, you need to pull up that garment of engineering and come to their level, relate to them. That communication matters. That way you will be accepted. You bring your knowledge and expertise. You don't turn it off at the door. Successfully navigating this transition requires adaptive professional approaches to political contexts while maintaining core engineering values. Strategies for increasing engineer participation in politics, professional development and political preparation. Increasing engineer participation in politics requires structured approaches to political skill development within engineering education and professional development. This includes integrating policy coursework in engineering curriculum, creating mentorship programs, connecting engineer politicians with aspiring candidates, and developing political leadership training within professional engineering societies. One opportunity is to volunteer with someone else's selection to sort of learn the ropes. Such incremental exposure builds political understanding and network. That was what I said before about engineer Benigo. When you associate yourself with those who are already in the system, that is how you gradually get yourself into the system. And who says that somebody like him, because he was seen everywhere, could not be appointed into the system to be an SSA or, any position. In fact, let me also say this. The Commissioner for Health today was a civil servant, like most of you. He was a civil servant. Just visibility that he showed himself during the campaign. Governor never knew him. I am speaking authoritatively because Governor told me. He never knew him. Visibility. So his work shined. And that was how he was appointed a commissioner over and above even his bosses in the office. But the most important thing is, as a professional, he was appointed to lead to head the medical Ministry of Health. So I'm also encouraging us. I'm still using Medigo because I saw a lot of his billboards, flexes produced at that time. Something like that can propel you. And I'm emphasizing that we continue to encourage engineers to do things like that. You never can tell whose luck it will be tomorrow. Engagement through professional organizations. Professional engineering societies can play a pivotal role in facilitating member engagement in politics. The limited participation of engineers in Nigerian politics has often been linked to the absence of structured platforms that encourage political awareness. And that also brings me to the fact that I want to thank the leadership of NSE, who has asked me to come and deliver this paper today. Because what you don't know is bigger than you. Mentorship and advocacy among technical professionals. One effective strategy for reversing this trend is to promote active engagement through professional engineering organizations, such as the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, and other specialized bodies. Through these institutions, engineers can collectively build political consciousness, strengthen their public voice, and influence national decision-making processes that shape infrastructural and technological development. Political awareness and leadership training. Professional organizations can serve as incubators for political education and leadership development among engineers. They can organize workshops, seminars, and conferences focused on governance, policy formulation, and leadership ethics. Such programs will help engineers understand the political process, constitutional frameworks, and public policy cycles, equipping them with the tools to engage effectively. Leadership academies within NSE or COREN could mentor young engineers interested in public service and governance roles. Advocacy and policy influence. By leveraging their collective professional reputation, engineering bodies can become policy think tanks and advocacy platforms. They can make technical inputs into national development plans, budget proposals, and infrastructure policies. When engineering organizations present data-driven policy recommendations to government bodies, they not only influence policy but also build credibility for engineers in political spaces. For instance, consistent engagement with the National Assembly and State House of Assembly on technical legislation can open doors for more engineers to hold advisory or political positions. That also brings me to a story that I want to share with us. Some years ago, I think in my second tenure, I invited the leadership of NSE to my office. And I said to them that I want us to give a gift to the government at the time under the leadership of Senator Dr. Emmanuel. I started brainstorming and we agreed to take up the underground sewer in Asaba. Most of you may not know the story. We prepared a paper and I got an appointment for NSE with the then governor, Dr. Cole. He gave us an appointment to come and present the paper. And we presented the paper. and we assured him that we have the capacity to do that job, to supervise that job, and it will be well done. And the good news is that at the end of the day, he was very happy with the paper we presented. And he appointed one of us as a consultant to that project, Engineer Emmanuel. Assuming we did not take up that initiative, who knows, maybe that opportunity would have eluded him. So that is exactly what I am talking about. Institutional representation and lobbying. Engineering organizations can advocate for increased representation of engineers in public boards, commissions, and political appointments. For example, lobbying for engineers to serve as commissioners of works, power, environment, or housing strengthens technical leadership in governance. Creating engineering policy committees within professional bodies can institutionalize such advocacy and ensure continuous engagement in political stakeholders. So not until we continue to discuss this collaboration, to discuss our involvement in politics, prioritize it, we may not be able to make an inroad. Collaboration with other professional and political bodies. Cross-sector collaboration enhances visibility and influence. The NSE, current and related bodies can partner with political institutes, civil society organizations, and chambers of commerce to promote evidence-based policy making. Through such alliances, engineers can participate in public consultations, development summits, and political dialogues, ensuring that engineering perspectives inform national priorities. Encouraging political participation among members. Engineering organizations can formally encourage and support members who seek elective or appointive offices. This can include recognition awards, endorsement platforms, or political mentorship programs by celebrating engineer politicians as role models. These bodies can inspire others to follow similar paths in governance. Strengthening public communication. To improve public perception, engineering organizations should enhance their visibility and communication with society. Public enlightenment campaigns that showcase the contributions of engineers to national development can reshape societal attitudes and highlight the need for more technical leaders in politics. Media collaborations can also project engineers as nation builders whose technical knowledge is essential for sustainable development. Engagement through professional organizations offers a sustainable pathway for increasing engineers' participation in politics. By building capacity, monitoring, mentoring potential leaders, and influencing policy through collective advocacy, engineering institutions can transform Nigeria's political landscape. When engineers unite under their professional platforms to engage politically, they amplify their voice, strengthen their relevance in governance, and position themselves as critical drivers of national development. Conclusion and future outlook. The integration of engineers into political leadership represents a promising pathway toward more effective, evidence-based governance capable of addressing complex national development challenges. Engineers bring systematic problem-solving approaches, project management skills, and technical competence that significantly enhance policy development and implementation. Their professional ethic of protecting public health, safety, and welfare provides a strong moral foundation for political decision-making. As demonstrated by current engineer politicians, these professionals can bridge the gap between technical possibility and political feasibility, advancing national development through informed leadership. The future challenge for the engineering profession and political systems is to facilitate greater integration of engineering perspectives into governance structures. This will require both increased political engagement by engineers and greater recognition by political institutions of the value that technical expertise brings to public policy. As nations face increasingly complex technological, environmental, and infrastructure challenges, the need for engineer political leaders will only grow. Engineering education, professional development, and political systems should adapt to encourage and support this valuable collaboration between technical expertise and public leadership. Once again, let me thank you so profoundly for being patient and listening to me. I want to crave the indulgence of the leadership of this society to please prioritize collaboration between a professional body and the government, and also prioritize the inclusion of political science leadership into the curriculum as we bring up the younger ones to take over from us tomorrow. Thank you so very much for listening. God bless you.
Yes. I think I should move straight to the political arena now. And my spirit is already high. I think I should be the next I won't start for council. I will consult the oracle. He will tell me what to do. Once again, we give the round of applause for our later. You can see the excellence in which he has been able to bring down politics and engineering in a way that everybody now seems to be interested. I saw keen interest. Everybody how we try to understand roles that engineers can play and how political that we can become to help our nation to grow. In all aspects of the political and technical and technological stages to advance governance, we see that engineers have been positioned specifically by God to ensure that development comes. But are we really willing to take that leadership position? And that's why SIPA has come to push us, to bring it to us, that not just in NSE, in the major spheres of life, engineers are needed. And the collaboration between engineering and politics will help us to grow better. If you notice, other professions have been able to bridge this gap very well, to the extent that whatever they need, they ask of the government, it gives to them without any hesitation. But we notice that in our own case and in present time, it's difficult for engineers to harness potentials and possibilities for us to grow in the profession. So I want to thank you, sir, for this paper presented. And I know that some people have questions and contributions. So we have those who want to contribute. Let's have their hands up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5. So we'll start from Engineer Castify, please.
Well, we're still in NSE meeting. I would have started by saying, the Excellency, Honorable Member, Majority Leader, Mr. Chairman of the House, before I make my question,